Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum rahmatullah. Welcome back, dear students. We finished the project in Unit 2. Now I am very excited to know about the projects that students have made about different people, which we have in Unit 2. Of course, the main idea was influential people. So we're going to just go back a little bit and revise what we have here in Unit 2, which is influential people. In influential people, we had, as we mentioned, to think about someone who has really inspired and may inspire more. Make your presentation interesting, as I gave some tips about how to make your project by adding some pictures, about working as a team, and presenting something throughout, as you can see here, a timeline. Now, something else that we mentioned is about these figures, that they are successful. Now, do you remember the discussion that we had at the very start when we transferred, or we just transmitted between the idea of teamwork and individual work? Now, there were successful stories, and there were lots of achievements that we talked about in Unit 2. So we're going to just move on to the question here. What did these figures have in common? Now, different figures, the figures that are mentioned in the book, or the figures that you have thought about, what do they have in common? There is something that must be together, or they all do have in common. So what we can say, the basic word is achievements. So they all have achievements that were worth mentioning and worth talking about. Now we're going to just move on with the idea of achievements here. Now, achievements inspire to create and achieve more. So as long as you are achieving and you're succeeding, you are eager to do more and achieve more. Now, when are you going to do these achievements, or when are you going to see the results? You are going to see them where? In the future. So we are going to move on to the third unit in the book, which has the idea of the future here. You can see that we have Unit 3. The title is What Will They Think of Next? Now, just to note here that we are going to concentrate on the word will, because it indicates the future, and actually it is the basic grammar form that we're going to discuss in the grammar lesson. And of course, we are going to think about things that are going to happen next, which means that we have different predictions for the future, and just think about the new inventions and the ideas that people are coming with. So we have our lesson. We are going to start, first of all, of course, with our Unit 3. We have here Unit 3. What comes in mind? When I'm thinking, we reached the idea of predictions and inventions and things that are happening in the future. What comes in mind? We are going to just think about different things. Now, just to give you an idea, we have here different ages here. Now, young people, they have different thoughts and they have different ideas that come in mind. And also, old people, or the older or adults, they had their ideas and they lived to see, did these things happen or not? So just think about the things that you thought or you predicted, and you think that they may happen or may not happen. So this is the basic idea that we have here in Lesson 1. Like phones. Now, old people or adults, when they use phones here, or everyone has now, mainly people everywhere in the world, they use cell phones. Now, people who are older now, did they use these cell phones when they were young? Did they imagine having these phones? Did they predict having these phones? So these are questions just to think and imagine what are the things that people used to imagine and they came true in the present time. Another thing is, we have here cars. Now, the people who used horse carriages, for example, or the classic cars, didn't imagine the types of cars that we are using now at the present time. There's a question in your book. The question is, what things that we take for granted today did people not have 100 years ago? So this is the idea. Why did I connect between the young people and the older people? Now, there are things that we take granted. We feel that they are normal to use, like, as I mentioned, the cell phone, or any type, or let's just say like air conditioning or refrigerators. We feel that they are normal. We have them in our houses, but people before, they didn't have them. So this is a time just to appreciate all the blessings and all the things that we enjoy every day. Another thing mentioned in your book is to name a discovery or a development that you think people will have or use 100 years from now. So the first idea, I just thought about the people before and how they imagined the future, which is our present time. And it is your turn in your present time to think about the future and just think about different inventions that may or may not happen. Now, there are different inventions. Of course, we can see that there are lots of ideas about using robots or flying cars or whatever. Now, these are just examples for things that people predict that they will happen in the future. But the future does not just mean that. Now, changes could be in many things. So when people are asked what are their predictions for the future, they go to technology, they go to new inventions. But actually, there are things that change every day that do not concern this type of change. Now, we're going to see in the book, we have page number 34, which is the idea that I have in mind. Now, we're going to just stop with this hadith. We have here عن ابن عمر قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم مفاتيح الغيب 5 ثم قرأ إن الله عنده علم الساعة وينزل الغيث الآية. So here it is very important to just put in mind that these predictions that you think that are happening in the future, they are just thoughts about inventions and different types of things that people may come up with the future. But do we know that these things will happen or not? This is something that only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows. We're going to start with our unit 3. We have here the first lesson, which is the listen and discuss. Our objectives are going to be, number 1, to enumerate future predictions in different domains. Number 2, to list other kinds of predictions. Number 3, select words that predict future changes from the texts. Number 4, examine predictions and determine how true they are. Number 5, to give the meaning of new vocabulary. So we are going to start with our lesson. Now, the first thing that is mentioned in the book, we have here in 1900. Now, let's just stop here and think about our year now. We are talking about the past. We are talking about year 1900. Now, in this year 1900, a popular American magazine called Ladies' Home Journal published an article called What May Happen in the Next 100 Years. So just imagine that we're talking about this year, and they are imagining what is going to happen in the future, their future, which is actually our present. Now, they are imagining things. This is a chance for us to read the amusing ideas that they had in mind, and we're going to see, did they really happen or not? So we have here, we're going to complete making predictions about what life would be like in the year 2001. So actually, it's even something that we passed by it now, and we are in a different year. So we are just going to read the ideas that they had in mind, and we're going to discuss their predictions. Now, of course, we have here the changes, as we said. The changes, they are going to be concerning, or they concern different parts. Now, I did mention that changes, when we say that people have predicted different changes, they do not just concern technology. Now, these changes may be in people themselves, or we can say language, or we can say also transportation. We have also changes in traffic. We have other changes in media. We have also deliveries, and we have communication. So we're going to just read the different amusing ideas that we have in the book, and we're going to answer questions. Now, before we start, as usual, we are going to pass by the words that are in our lesson. We're going to learn these words, so I'm going to just give you a time to read them. We have the first one. We have the word circuits. We have the second one. Okay, read this one. We have condensed. Yes, correct. We have here condensed. We have number 3, determined. And then we have, yes, number 4. If you remember in Unit 1, we took the word extensive, and now we are passing by extensively. Extensive, extensively. One is an adjective and the other one is an adverb. A very simple word here, rank. And we have the word span. Now you can see some of the words are very easy to pronounce. And we have also the meanings that are in the book, page number 35. We have A, extend across. We have B, shortened. We have C, covering a wide range or area. We have D, position in an ordered group. We have E, paths for electrical currents. And we have F, decided. Now this is a chance to just check your vocabulary. So maybe some of these words you already know, you're going to match, and focus on the other words that you do not know. If you do not know any of the words we are learning now. So let's just focus on the 6 words that we have here within the text. So let's start. We have here page number 34. Now page number 34, listen carefully to the text. Which predictions are in each part and which have come true, which have not come true? So this is the paragraph that you can see here. As we mentioned, you are going to just highlight while you listen the predictions that are mentioned, and then we're going to decide if they are true or not. So let's start.
People will be taller by 1 to 2 inches. This increase in height will be a result of better health, due to improvements in medicine, sanitation, and diet. The average life expectancy will have risen from the current age of 35 to the age of 50.
Okay, so what did you listen to and what did you notice? Now we want something amusing here. We want something that people predicted. Now the first thing that they predicted was that people will be taller. Now do you think that this happened or not? They say that people will be taller by 1 or 2 inches. So do you think this is true? So mainly, no, it is not. It's the same. Okay, so it's not a prediction to make. Another thing that we can say that we have here, the average life expectancy will have risen from the current age of 35 to the age of 50. Now, if you think about it, that now health, medication, we have hospitals, we have better lifestyle. Now, if you look at it this way, we can say that, yes, this prediction, it did come true. Now, moving on to the second part, we're going to do the same. You are going to just listen and predict as we did in the first part. So this time we have...
There will be no C, X, or Q in the English alphabet, as these letters will have been determined to be unnecessary. Spelling by sound will have been adopted. English will have become a language of condensed words. English will also be more extensively spoken than any other language. Russian will rank second.
So we can see that this part is about language. What are the changes that they predicted in the past, in year 1900, about language? What did you highlight? We have here something amusing here. There will be no C, X, or Q in the English alphabet. Now, this is a prediction made. Do you think it happened? Of course, there are no thoughts about it. Of course not. We have here the word determined, as we said about in the vocabulary. What is the meaning of determined? Now, when we say that something is determined to be unnecessary, we have here determined means that I am sure of something. So this is why that we are sure that letters are still used in our day. We have here, so this makes it false. Another thing, we can also say that spelling by sound will have been adopted. Do you think that this is true? Do people now spell by sound? Now here we can say that this one is true in some languages. Okay, so we have here, or there are a little bit differences between different types of English. We can say, for example, British English is different from American English or Australian or any other type. So it depends on what is the country that is using and how they write some words. Now we have here, one of the thoughts that they have is that English will have become a language of condensed words. Now before we discuss the prediction here, what is the meaning of condensed? Condensed, like here, this map. Now when you open maps just to look for a location, is it the true map that you have here, or you can say that we have here the estimated time to just go to a place? Is it the true road, or is it just a condensed or a short summary of it? Now the idea here is that we have something that is just shortened. It is not true. It's just a summary. It's something that to look at mainly. So it is what? It is condensed. We have here the word condensed. Now here we can use it also with the language. Do you think that English now is just used of condensed words? They're not too much. So the idea is unusual, and of course it is false. We can also add as a prediction that English will also be more extensively spoken than any other language. To think about English, now is English now used more than it was used 50 or 40 years ago? Now this is something just to predict, and we can say that we have here it is used extensively. Now if you remember in Unit 1 when we said the meaning of the word extensive means a wide range or covering a wide range, extensively here is the adverb, which also means the same idea here, that it is used widely. So we have here, yes, it is used. We can say that something extensively, like this photo, it is taken extensively, not just a small part of it. And also we have here another thing. Of course, this one is true. It is used more. The last idea that I have here, Russian will rank second. Do you think that the Russian language is ranked second after English? Here we can agree that this one is false. But of course we have here just a picture to show you the meaning of rank before. Now we have here rank, which is a position in an ordered group, and of course this one is going to be false. We're going to move on with the second part. Okay, we have here of course the exercise. So let's just see. We have here the meanings. We took some words. Now condensed, when I said that something is, we can say that yes, it is be shortened. Determined, I am sure of something. So we have here determined from the meanings that I read before. We have here, yes, it is going to be F, decided. Extensively, like the picture that I showed you. Now extensively here from the meanings we can see, yes, it is C, covering a wide range or area. And we have here rank. Now rank, like the picture that I just showed you, we have here, yes, it shows that we have here D, a position in an ordered group. So let's complete. Okay, we have a new part. Let's just listen.
Cars will be cheaper than horses are today. Automobiles will have been substituted for every horse vehicle now known. A 1-pound motor in one of these vehicles will do the work of a pair of horses or more. There will be airships, but they will not successfully compete with cars and ships for passenger or freight traffic. They will be used mainly by the military.
Okay, so this time we have transportation. Now let's see what different ideas or predictions that we have in transportation. Now cars will be cheaper than horses are today. So do you think this one is true or not? It's easy to know that sometimes cars are cheaper if you think about expensive horses or original horses, and sometimes, no, it is not true. So it depends on the car, and it depends on the type of horse that we are talking about. We have another prediction that is made that automobiles will have been substituted for every horse vehicle now known. So do people use them now more than horse vehicles? We can agree that this one is true. Another prediction made is that we have here, there will be airships. Now, airships here, it depends on what you are thinking about, what type of airships that we are talking about. So here, this prediction, we can say it is true if you are thinking about airplanes. And we have here, they will be used mainly for military. We're still talking about airships here. Is it true that we just use airplanes or airships for military usage? So this part is going to be false. Moving on with another part. Let's listen.
There will be no traffic on the streets of large cities. All traffic, including subways, cars, and buses, will be either below ground or high above ground. Moving sidewalk stairways will connect them to the street level. The vehicles on the busy underground and overhead streets will have cushioned wheels. Therefore, there will be almost no noise in cities.
Okay, so what do you have in this part? What are the different predictions that you have? So let's just underline or highlight. We have here the first thing. There will be no traffic on the streets. So do you think that this prediction happened? Of course not. We can say that this one is false. We agree on it. We have also another prediction. What can you underline here with me? We have here, traffic will be either below ground or high above ground. So did this happen? Now, if you think about it in one way, yes, we can say that we do have underground roads. We have also bridges, which means that they are either we have below or above. But at the same time, if they think that there is no traffic on the street just above or below, this is going to be wrong. So it depends on how you are thinking or how you understood the prediction or what did they mean exactly. Another thing to think about is we have here moving sidewalk stairs. Just imagine that the sidewalk is moving. You don't walk on it. So we can agree that this one is false. How about the rest? Do you have any other predictions that are made? We can say that we have here, yes. Now, the streets will have cushioned wheels. Now, this is something unusual. Just imagine that the wheels of the cars are cushioned, so they do not make sounds. And of course, this prediction was wrong. Okay, so we have here changes concerning traffic, or predictions, sorry, concerning traffic. We are going to move on to something else here. We have another part, so listen with me.
Photographs will be telegraphed from any distance. If there is an important event happening halfway around the world, photographs of the event will be published in newspapers an hour later.
So this is a short paragraph. So what do we have here for predictions? Now there is one main idea here, which is photographs will be telegraphed from any distance. So when we think about social media and think about pictures, phones, different cameras that are used, we agree that this one is true. Okay, they can be published and sent in minutes. Another part, listen with me.
When people make purchases from stores, their purchases will be delivered by tubes, connected from the store to houses. These tubes will also collect, deliver, and transport mail over distances, perhaps for hundreds of miles.
Okay, so what are the, actually here, this is the most amusing idea that we have for the lesson. Now, their purchases will be delivered by tubes. Just imagine that anytime people ask for deliveries or they order something, that it is delivered to their houses by tubes. Can you just imagine the idea here? Now, we see that this one is, of course, false. Another idea that these tubes will, actually it is connected together. We have here, these tubes will also collect, deliver, and transport mail over distances. So either you are asking for deliveries or mail. Either ways, the idea is false. Moving on to another one, we have here a very short paragraph, so let's just listen to it.
Wireless telephone circuits will span the world. A person in New York will easily be able to call someone in China.
Now here, we have the basic idea. Wireless telephone circuits will span the world. Now this is a prediction that we agree that is going to be true to call anyone. We do have the word circuits. Now, what is the meaning of circuits? We said wireless circuits. Now, when we want to call anyone in another place or another country, they are wireless, or there are wireless circuits. We have here, these are types of circuits that are used. Another word is span. Now, these circuits, they are not just in one place, they span. Now, to get another meaning for it, you can see like this bridge. Now, bridges in general, they connect two areas together. So if you have two islands or two places and you just want to connect them together between mountains or anywhere else, you can say, or even the city, you can just connect them using a bridge. So we have here the idea that these circuits, they are connected together or they span. So we have here, we have the idea is mainly yes, true, which leads us to the last two words that we have here in our exercise. We have the word circuits. Now, when we say that there are electric circuits, so we're going to just connect it to E, pass for electrical currents. Leading us to the last one, span, and we have here span means A, which means extend across. Now we have completed the exercise that we have in the book, the discussion. We have here talking about predictions. We do have our exercises. Now it is your turn to work with a partner to make predictions about the year 2100. Create one prediction for each of the categories in the article. Discuss your predictions with the class. So there is a type of discussion here, pair work. You're going to just think about different things. Now maybe you have something amusing like the ideas that we had in the book. Also, for homework, you have the comprehension questions that we have here on page number 35, which we are going to answer together in our next lesson. Our outline for the day, we first defined vocabulary, discussed future predictions in general. We listed future changes and read short text and listened to them as well. And after listening, we searched for facts, summarized the unusual predictions that we had in the book. It is a very interesting lesson, and just think about the different predictions or the different changes that may have come in mind while listening to their ideas. So do your homework and we'll do it together inshallah in our next lesson.